Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Thursday, November 4th, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern. We're having a reverse aging health call tomorrow night at 9 p.m. See if you can sit quietly for 30 minutes sometime today with the simple, soft, understanding presence of who is here now. Let yourself open up like a flower blossoming without forcing your petals to open. Naturally open yourself to this life in each moment and the people that come your way today. You live, you love, you lose, you learn, and someday you might laugh. There's something extremely magical happening right now in this very moment of our lives. We may not be aware of it or care to take notice, yet it's here and it continues to go on being magical all the time. It happens so frequently that it can seem normal, obvious, and typical, which is why we might tend to overlook it every day. Yet truly, this magical thing is more amazing than the mind can fully believe or comprehend. This miraculous thing I'm talking about is our lives. And it is happening inside of us, through us, to us, and for us right now. There is a perpetual creation of the experience of you occurring, just for you to enjoy you. There's not much you can do about it. The best thing to do is to just let go and completely surrender yourself to the experience. On a physical level, there are millions of miniature life-giving processes happening inside our bodies right now. There are energies that are keeping our hearts beating, our lungs breathing, our hair growing, our teeth from decaying, and allowing our heart to relax and sleep tonight. Our diaphragm is pulling in a continual flow of oxygenating energy into our lungs, which our bodies are pumping blood to trillions of cells, lovingly transporting the great river of life, giving energy to every cell throughout our bodies. In this moment, as you're existing in this now, in understanding this, billions of brain cells are being engaged in understanding these concepts. It is only in this now moment that we can find this miraculous experience called life and discover where it's coming from. When you stop to appreciate all of the wonderful things that are occurring in your life, this highly sensitive extrasensory perception begins opening within you. You begin feeling and seeing the divinity that is behind every breath and heartbeat. This sweet sensitivity increases to the point where you can feel the vibrant matrix of intelligence that is weaving through itself all thoughts and things. It's amazing what a little appreciation for life can open up to each of us. When we start to be grateful for all the little things that we usually take for granted, we can begin to see, smell, taste, and hear the deeper meaning of our existence. It becomes possible to actually know on a spiritual level why we are here. and what is the true meaning of our life. You see, you see that everything that is happening around us is actually a miracle, because we realize that we also are a miracle. Perhaps one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves is the experience of conscious awareness. We can watch the mind think, perceive, and make up all sorts of explanations about ourselves and our lives. We can see that when we make the slightest, most subtle shift in our perception of reality, our entire attitude and exploration of life changes. Our body responds differently to stimuli that it once believed was threatening, and we find an entirely new reason for being alive. The mind is the greatest inventor of lies. It never actually sees the truth in all its perfection. It can only see fragments of the truth, catch a glimpse of it here and there, and try to capture it with some fixed yet random creative expression. It is always making up stories about other people, the world, ourselves, and the way that life is. It makes these enormous, glorious assumptions to courageously capture the truth and fit it into a beautiful box that others can appreciate and praise. Yet the truth is too big for the mind to contain. The truth is everything in the universe that is here now. The mind can only hold on to two things: the past and the future. The mind cannot just be here now in the present. The moment the mind completely surrenders into the burning fire of the now, all grasping disappears, and all of our suffering created by the mind is gone. The singer exists only in singing. The walker exists only in walking. So is the ego. The ego exists only in clinging and possessing things and dominating things when there is no domination, no desire to dominate, no desire to cling, no desire to possess. The ego starts evaporating. If you wish to experience the truly miraculous being that you are and get a real taste of the amazing life that is yours to enjoy, you must choose to drop the mind. You must choose to give up completely and let go of all clinging to its righteous beliefs and ways of thinking that is the only way to be truly alive. Otherwise, you're just living in tomorrow or yesterday, missing out on this wondrous moment of life. The true you can only be found here, in this now moment. And one day, the body and mind will be gone, which is why this experience of all of our lives is so very precious. And yes, our lives are so precious. Take the time today to truly enjoy you being here right now and totally alive. How often do any of us appreciate the opportunity we have just to experience what it is like to be alive? This appreciation is all of our tickets to freedom. It is the main vehicle for liberating ourselves from the mind and its many prisons. To see, feel, and smell the divinity within all things, we must choose to drop all attachment to the mind and its entanglements. we must choose to merge with it, find peace with the mind within us. Just imagine that you are the sun, and the mind is a small, hard comet heading towards you, about to get burned up in the sun's sacred fire. So my invitation for you right now is enormous. Stop trying to get anywhere. Just stop. Just drop the mind and see how much you can really enjoy this day, that you are still alive. In this very moment, you are still here. Who knows about the next moment? Remember this. Choose to do everything you can to be radically alive. And my request here is not that you try and push yourself further into your known list of sensory pleasures, mental distractions, or physical addictions. I'm challenging you to go deeper into your aliveness, your spiritual nature, and give a deeper, more authentic joy inside of you, one that contains a deep healing relaxation within it. I want you to find the peace that is within your soul. It is here now and will help you transcend every hidden anxiety and self-sabotaging behavior you have had. I want you to become so alive, so vibrating with life, that you suddenly realize that you cannot hold on to all your worries and fears, that they are no longer your priority. Imagine how it would feel to be so relaxed and excited about your life, living in this magical body-mind vehicle you are in, that you forget all insecurity and fear. What if the main mission of your life was to do this? What if finding absolute unending joy was as simple as being fully here now, welcoming the sacred moment and whatever the experience is giving you? What if the goal of your life was to cherish yourself in each precious moment, as if this was the first or last moment of your life? How would you live this day differently if this was your truth? One must have chaos in oneself in order to give birth to a dancing star. Friedrich Nietzsche. Did you know the translation of the word sin, which I've discussed before, which needs to be repeated? The translation of the word sin, S-I-N, means to miss the target. I see that life is like a game of darts, where the bullseye target is being fully here, in this now moment. This is where the divinity, your divine essence, is found. It is the only place and space it is discovered. So why be anywhere else? It is just the habit of the mind to do something other than here now. When you take your eye off the target for an instant, you miss the goal of your life completely. When you are relaxed, open, present, and fully surrendered to what is here now, you can trust life, enjoy being held by life, and hit the target each time. The one thing that will always bring you into the now is your body and your breath. Practice listening to your body intimately. Feel into how it is breathing into you this week. Really listen. What is it telling you? The body does not lie, and it's going to clue you in on an entire collaboration of vital information that you really need to know. Listen super closely. as if it were whispering to you from a place very far away. Notice what is the one message it has for you right now. It is pointing you inside, deeper inside, to the point of absolute relaxation, totally dissolving all tension where you can find real inner peace. It is through your body that you will find the real you, who is forever intimately connected with this universe. When you practice listening to your body, letting go of the chit-chat in your mind, you start to hear these subtle messages from the universe. It guides you through the daily matrix of this life. The universe will show you how to get through this life, how to navigate your way into finding heaven on earth. This is your purpose for being here, to find heaven is here in this now moment. When you deeply relax into yourself, into your life, exactly as it is, you can discover the greatest miracle of all. You can trust that you are on the right path in every moment of your existence. You just see, feel, and deeply accept that you cannot get off the path, no matter what you do. This is true, because you are the path. Each and every single one of us are the path. The path is before us, beneath us, right where we are. Walking on the path, we see everyone is perfect just the way they are. You begin noticing that everyone fits into the grand perfection, with all of their many imperfections, and realize the great miracle of them all is always here. Here, the most magical source of living is discovered, the real intimacy with life, the meeting of the divine with the mundane, in every ordinary and extraordinary experience. Liberation is not very far away. It is just hidden behind you. Once you are authentic, the door opens. We can be such liars, pretenders, hypocrites, so deeply false. That's why we feel liberation is very far away. It is not. For an authentic being, liberation is just natural as anything. Okay. So if you will, go to the place where we're not going to be interrupted. And the first thing that we care to do is relax our bodies, naturally. Well, how do we do that? Well, number one, we know that we are not the body. We are not the name. We are not the personality of the character. We are the God within it. Knowing this, knowing that you are master of the body, you can understand that everything the body is like a magnet. The ego, the mind, the subconscious mind is constantly conjuring, creating, and absorbing. So, that's why we all carry stress. And we attract what? Thoughts. And most of the thoughts that we attract are not ours. They're tricky. They seem like they're ours, but they're not. And that's the real tricky part. When you have a thought, you generate that thought. It comes from you. It doesn't come into you. It comes from you. This is the trick. Because it seems so familiar that it is coming from you, but actually it came into you. A thought is created that is our thought, that we move it, we take the thought, we move energy into form, we create it into reality. A thought is just a thought until we give it the energy. Then it becomes a reality. Then we experience it. So when the body stills, when the body becomes really relaxed, and you go within, there's no mind chatter. We all have mind chatter, every one of us. And we all have 60,000 plus thoughts generating every day. And then we're bombarded with tens of millions of programs with your thoughts, floating by like clouds in the sky or on a super highway. And none of those are our thoughts. So you'll know when the body relaxes because you move into the mind. You also know when you'll go into the mind instead of the head, the heart mind, instead of the head, instead of the ego mind. By doing this, you leave the ego and the mind alone. You leave the subconscious mind alone. You're not participating in them. And when this happens, you feel a lightness because you're not thinking really about anything. That's how you know you've left the mind. You've left it alone. You're not thinking anything, so the mind is not there. You're being in the now. That's exactly what you're experiencing, the now. And you focus on your breath because the breath and the body are the now. So as long as you practice in the now, and you're focused on your breath, and you're focused on the body, you will not have the chatter. You will not have the noise. And all of the stress and tension and the fear and anxieties that we have conjured up for ourselves through the mind fade out, fall off, fall away. And this is when we really truly know that we are relaxed. And in that state of relaxation, deep state of relaxation, by going within, and you're listening to your breath, and you're listening to the body, it's bliss. Then you start realizing how genuinely grateful you are to be in that body, and how relaxed it is, and how at ease you are, because it's your natural state of being. Do you believe that stress is your natural state of being? That would be a lie. Do you believe that fear, worry, anxiety, hatred, anger is your natural state of being? That would be a lie. All of us are one with all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. To have the opportunity to be in these bodies is absolutely miraculous. Now, it's imperative that we stay in the now. Unfortunately for us, the challenge here is that the ego and the mind are never in the now. They are either in the future or the past, and it's constant. And once we know this, we can move more and more into the now by staying in deep gratitude for everything and the very moment we exist. And we all know that we can be in these bodies one moment, and the next, we're out of them. Now we look in the body, we will see lights. And they're pretty much in order. They go from the tailbone to the top of the head. There's about 7 of them. And they're not like the colors we see on this planet. They're much deeper, much more vibrant, much richer. And we notice that these are not, they're etherical, spiritual energy. So you can't pick them up and touch them and that type of thing. You, all of us, the gods that we are etheric spiritual energy. Highly powerful, unlimited divine perfection. We flow through these, what they call chakras, which means wheel. These are wheels of light. And that connects us to this body, and all of the blood, all of the cells, all of the organs, all of the emotions, everything down to the quantum quark. And these bodies are very, very intelligent. They don't lie. They don't deceive. They don't manipulate. They speak the truth 24/7. And by being in the breath, moment to moment, and with the body, focused on that, you stay in the now. And here's where we will come to full realization eventually by this inner journey, that we are the healing power of these bodies, the gods that we are, the souls that we are that are in these bodies that keep these bodies operating. We're a very powerful being. Now, how do we, with over 60,000 of our thoughts that we generate, plus a day, tens of millions of programs, thoughts, flying by us every day, how do we stay in the now when the mind and the ego is constantly bringing us into the future and into the past? You see all these tug-of-wars going on? So how do we really, truly stay in the now? The breath. And being gentle, kind, generous, humble. And in the highest of the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude with ourselves. Always being kind to yourself. Always loving to yourself. The good ends, the not so good ends, the rough areas, but loving you completely all the time. And every time that we wander off on one of these thoughts that aren't ours, or maybe a handful of them, we know it's not a big deal. You say, okay, so I've wandered off. I will focus on my breath, and I will be in the now. That's why if someone asks you, in a conversation, you might be sitting down talking with someone, and they ask you, where do you see yourself being 5 years from now? And you'll look at them and say, I have no idea. I only live in the now. This very moment is where I'm at. See? And the reason we do this is that it silences the mind chatter and the ego mind. It silences them. It stills them. This is how we master them. The only way we can master things is by being in the now and practicing, so it becomes a habit. Every time we're taken out of the now by some random thought, we know how to bring ourselves into it over and over again. Eventually, what happens is that we become so astute, so clear when we do wander off, that it is seamless for us to focus on our breath and to move into the now. Now, I'm not saying that it's real, super simple, easy, because it isn't, because we're so used to the ego mind taking us into the future or the past. And we also understand that the ego mind is never satisfied because it's so insecure. So it continually tries to better, more. So the ego mind is the path to suffering. The now is the path to bliss. Take your pick. Now we know that the soul that we are, the God, the pure consciousness, the higher self, the spirit, all facets of the God. We know that when we enter these bodies, we power these bodies up. Lungs start operating, heart starts pumping blood, everything starts coming online. We also know that the breath sustains the body that holds us, the kingdom of God, the God source, right? Pure consciousness. And we're consciously aware. What are we consciously aware of? Collectively? That we are of and from the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deep of the deepest, and the purest of the purest purest. Eternal love, gratitude, and peace. We're consciously aware, not only that we're from it, but we're of it. This is all centered soul, heart, mindedness. And we know that every step we take on this planet, we're creating paradise. Not only that, we're shining our light. And what is the light? The light is the God source. It is the pure consciousness, the pure love. That's the light. That's the true light. And we're flooding this entire planet, on it, in it, above it, and below it, 24/7. So you are heaven on earth. The soul is the heaven, the body is the earth. You are creating, each of us are creating paradise every single step we take. This is obviously a God planet. It isn't talked about that way, but that's what it is. It is a God planet with billions of gods, some somewhat awake, some not. And if you were to take a little trip, a couple hundred miles outside of this planet, and you were to view it, you would see that it glowed. And not only that, you would see that the surrounding lights around the planet in this universe would be dim in its comparison. This is the ultimate evolution of this civilization, where they glow. The planet glows. Because of the love that they are. Now we also know that there are parts of us as the gods that we are, not the body, but the gods inside the body. There are parts of us that are asleep. So they are with us because they're parts of us, but those are the parts that are asleep. So they don't hear, they don't interact. We literally are communicating with the parts of us that are consciously aware to a certain extent, that are awake. And that's all light energy beings and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And those numbers are in the googolplexes. One googolplex fills this entire universe with not even 1 square inch of sacred space to spare. Now, they come in trillions of googolplexes from trillions of universes in every direction. It is endless. And in that massive group that we are all connected, consciously aware of each other, the gods that we are, within whatever physical form we are inhabiting. And this is the archangels, the cherubim, the seraphim, the archetype. This is the ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Christ, El Morya, Abundancia, Pel, Thoth, Yahweh, Yeshua, all of our loved ones who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited. all of the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, Agartha, and beneath earth, all of the off-worlders, the galactics, the celestials. Now, the galactics, the celestials, the off-worlders, we're only familiar with just a smidgen of them. Over 1,000 species travel through this solar system every single day. Trillions throughout the universes every single day. And the ones that we're aware of, Sirians, Pleiadians, Arcturians, Andromedans, Felines, Zeta Reticuli, Anunnaki, Nord, Greys, Draco, Reptilian, Golden Pyramid, Avian. This particular group has been assisting us in our evolution, enlightenment, ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed slavery. Now, the archangels, they're a civilization that vibrates at a different frequency than we do. This is why we don't see them like we see each other. But we do meet with them. And on some accounts, we interact with them maybe for a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a day, 2 days, a month, a year. And when we do interact with them, we do have a feeling at times when we are interacting with them, but it doesn't really register with us completely until after we're done. And it dawns on us at times, not all the time, but sometimes it dawns on us that that was an angel. Have you ever, been anywhere and all of a sudden there's someone there out of the clear blue, and it's like you're going, there was no one here before. And at the right times, somebody always shows up. Have you ever experienced that? It's not like you're going, oh, there's an angel. You're doing something. Maybe you're moving something, or you're trying to fit something into something, and someone appears out of nowhere. And it's almost like you know them, right? Because they seem so friendly and accommodating and totally fearless. And hey, can I give you a hand with that, or can I help you with that? Have you ever had that happen? That is an angel. And they're always appearing in our lives. They're always assisting us, helping us. And this is in a faithful direction that eventually we will evolve, where we end up doing the same thing for others. Effortlessly. All the time. And when this happens, you do feel bliss, and you do feel this euphoric, this nirvana type feeling. And you're motivated just out of the clear blue to go and do something for someone else. And the message that they send us, which they send us a lot, isn't it absolutely magna, glorious, spectacular, stupendous to be alive in these bodies? To taste, to smell, to smile, to laugh, to cry, to feel. Because you know something? You may not know this, but the God that you are when you're out of that body, you don't experience any of that. Zero. None of it. Why do you think we're so attached to these bodies? We get so overly attached to experience all these. And then we're in the bodies long enough, and we are just so disoriented that we are not in gratitude for all of this. We take it for granted. Now, they can surround any one of us at any one time in the tens of thousands or tens of millions. And The reason is because of their vibrational frequency, they can hold a larger number in a small area. So if you want them to, ask them. They will. You'll know, because you'll have a wave of bliss. Now, the Ascended Masters, they have mastered physical. They've ascended into physical, mastered physical. They have ascended out of physical into pure consciousness, God form. We have ascended into physical. We are now mastering physical. We are creating our experiences to perfect our creation. Now, light energy beings on, in, above, and below this planet, because of the eyes that we have with these bodies, we only see 1% of what is. So we don't see the shapes, colors, sizes, forms, configurations passing by us, around us, every day. We are familiar with a small group of them: fairies, sprites, elves, gnomes, dwarves, trees, trolls, the elementals: earth, air, water, fire, ether, wood, the mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, the minotaur. And some of those we do interact with. We interact with fire, water, earth, air, all the time. And we're all gathered, so to speak, arm in arm, hand in hand. Hundreds of millions of us converging on this tiny little blue planet on the outer rim of the Milky Way galaxy for its complete liberation. And the liberation of all life with it, on it, in it, above it, and below it. We're in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. And we're all one, and we're all God, and we're all love. And our God force, love, light, energy, is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And it continues to intensify, and it continues to expand. We immediately form a circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. This light emanates from the kingdom of God, the God source, the God. You, each and every one of us gathered in this meditation. It is of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love. And we are bathing this planet and all its inhabitants in all life, the highest supreme value in the universe. And this is happening 24/7 nonstop. Imagine that through your heart minds. We begin to ascend above this planet, and we're immediately met with this massive ocean of glitter. It is everywhere. It is like a ballroom globe, mirrored globe that is reflecting light, except it's a trillion times larger and a trillion times more intense. These multicolored flashes and darting here and there. We're curious, so we obviously zero in on the reflective points. Notice these perfectly etched tiny little mirrors. We enter them, and we notice and discover that all of us, all life, the highest supreme value in the universe, all of us gathered. Not only that, all of us in all places, in all existences, are learning and teaching with each other. You're either learning or teaching or learning, or both. It never ends. Everything you come in contact with, you're either learning or they're teaching. It's teaching you or you're teaching it. It comes into your path to give you a message. Most people don't even acknowledge or even understand that. They will. You happen to be sitting somewhere and a bird flies by. Do you think that that is just happenstance? We learn by watching other forms of life. And we teach and we are interactive with each other. So whether it be a humanoid, a rabbit, a bird, or any form of life, a tree, a plant, there's something in the message. You don't have to rack your brain about it. You'll just know with ease. It is fascinating for us to have this opportunity to constantly be teaching and learning and teaching from each other. It's actually quite nice to know this. We begin to ascend with this planet above it. And we come into full contact with the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is the column of light that we created that reminds us all that we are the power of healing. We then come in contact with the violet, blue, purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is a column of light that reminds us all that we created of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. We are then met with the white fire. This is the column of light that we created to remind us all that from head to toe, inside and out, 24/7, unending, we are imbued with the white fire armor. Not like the armor on this planet, way beyond that. And this armor comes from the God source, the love, the kingdom of God, the God, you, each and every one of us gathered in this meditation. It cannot be penetrated. No demon possession, no attachments, no lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, none of that can affect it. It's impenetrable. They cannot stay. The lower frequencies cannot be around us when our state of frequency is this high because they would not survive. So they stay away. Yet, only you have the power that if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency low enough through consciousness or unconsciousness, greed, anger, hate, envy, manipulation, dishonesty, hurry, revenge, you will lower your vibrational frequency low enough to create a breach in your white fire armor. This, in turn, allows all the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies to come flooding in. Then the demon possession, attachments, a plethora of all kinds of possibilities can occur. Now, you do decide to do this, you are immediately met with a double column of light that we've created to remind us all. The first one is the purple transmuting flame. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all that we can bring in the purple transmuting flame. We can transmute all of these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutralite substance. We can send them to pure consciousness where they are no more. The second part of this column of light is the violet ray. We created this column of light to remind us all that we can bring in the violet ray right after the purple transmuting flame We can cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor, restoring our vibrational harmony of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest. Eternal love, gratitude, and peace. We are then met with the golden white pink light. This is the column of light that we created that reminds us all, the gods that we are within these bodies, that we are the sun. We are the sunlight. We are the sunsets and the sunrises. We are the rain and the rainbows. We are the clouds and the sky. We are the trees, the forests, the soils. We're the flowers. We're the starry lit night skies. We are the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams, the animals, the mountains. We are everything. Everything is us. So the next time you view a sunset or a sunrise, a rainbow, starlit night sky, it is you. It is the God that you are. You're the beauty. You're the divine majesty. You're everything. Everything is you. This is the way it's always been. And it always will be, ever, beyond, and forever. We continue to ascend above the planet, and some of us decide to step outside our physical form and float effortlessly above them, if we're carrying physical form. Why do we do this? Well, because we can. We come in immediate contact with this massive crystalline light tower which we created. It's larger than the solar system and beyond. In the center of the tower is an oblong sphere. In the center of the sphere is a golden white bowl of light. It is surrounded by numerous rings of multicolored lights. And they're all sending this massive, misty, electric, sparkling cloud that literally absorbs into us, like a warm embrace that never ends. And we notice that the golden white bowl of light is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest eternal love. Then we notice that there comes gratitude, peace, well-being, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, tranquility, benevolence, great prosperity, great abundance. It is all unending, and it is all interconnected because it is a reflection of the gods that we are. Now, at the top of this crystalline tower, we designed it so that the golden ocean can come cascading down 360 degrees, literally bathing, flooding, saturating all of us and all life, the highest supreme value in the universe, non-stop, 24/7, as it's doing right now. All life, the highest supreme value in this universe, in all universe. We are golden drops of this ocean. We also contain the essence of this golden ocean. Golden ocean is the drops of the golden ocean. The only illusion is separation. We share a meditative sphere. It's at center circle. We all created this sphere, moving towards 4 years ago. It holds over 1,600 of our meditations in perpetual motion. Every day, all of us gathered, all of us consciously aware from all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. Now, these meditations don't drain, they don't fade away. They do the opposite. They intensify and they expand. Anytime you want to tap into this ocean of meditations, sit, be quiet, focus on the breath, and you'll be literally flooded with them. You'll be in a state of nirvana. That's why this meditative sphere can be seen, heard, and felt in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. Step back from your desires today. Yet, don't resist them. Just take a small step back from being in such a demand or need to fulfill your desires. Notice that trying to fulfill them doesn't actually make you happy. Go deeper than you've ever gone before into. Letting everything in this universe be exactly as it is, by allowing everything, including your life, to be okay as it is. You stop chasing the mind and its desires. Letting is allowing, which is to be in the place of alert, playful, witnessing, consciousness of enlightened being. I'll join you in the meditation and return to close us out. Take an easy breath in through the nose and an easy breath out through the mouth. Move easy and slowly. Practice seeing everyone as being free from their ego. See yourself as being free from your ego mind, and sit for an hour today knowing you are not this ego. The ego is an illusion of ideas about who you are and who you are not. This residual self-image is just an image, a mirage, and not the real you. Simply practice seeing that you are egoless, free, and without borders or boundaries. Let go of all ideas about you today and be non-attached to whatever outcomes that show up in your future. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning. We will return here tomorrow, Friday, November 5th, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call, and 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our reverse aging health